today. So every day we start fresh because we can't affect the past, but we damn sure can make a difference today.
Welcome to episode 78 of Shop Talk. It's Jennifer.
And Carrie.
And we're back with a recap of 514 of The Rookie and 114 of The Rookie Feds. We got to see some interesting storylines as well as personal and professional changes for some characters in these episodes. So these were good episodes, I thought. So we'll go ahead and start off with the news. We only have one episode description so far. Like I looked earlier and there wasn't one for The Rookie. So we just have The Rookie Feds. We do have the episode name for The Rookie, but like it's not like official, I think, from ABC. Like it's not on the press site that we use. So I don't know.
Oh, I didn't even realize there was like the name was out.
Yeah, it's on the thing that like Ricarda shares every week where it like shows what episode number and like what date. And it's titled The Con, but I mean, I wouldn't think that it would change, but who knows? So right now we just have the episode description for Rookie Feds that airs on Valentine's Day. So not next week, but the week after. And it's titled Dead Again. And it's during a recent murder investigation of an investment banker who was also declared murdered 6 years ago. The unit follows a suspicious trail that leads to new evidence on both cases. Meanwhile, relationships are put to the test as Fortune considers her future with Carter and Brendan pushes his limits with Antoinette. I don't want anything to happen to these relationships.
I don't either. I mean, I don't necessarily know if Fortune and Carter's like has a negative connotation, but I really don't want Brendan and Antoinette's to have a negative connotation or negative result, just because I really have grown to like them. So
they did release promo photos today for it.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay, I'm
they
behind.
released it like while we were working on Outline or whatever. So like it looks like
goody.
Carter's back in the hospital.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. And Fortune's
I mean, unless
taking
he's
care
just
of him.
there. Oh, okay. I was like, unless he's just there to like, do his thing. But like
you're gonna love these ones of Laura. I already know it. Brendan Akers, hello. Just a lot of like Carter and Fortune ones, which is always good. Some Cuddy and Simone ones, and then an Antoinette one. But there's not much telling from them. So
I'm just like, I don't even know. Obviously, everyone knows I'm a Britt Robertson / Laura Stenson stan. So, yeah. But okay.
Yeah. I'll be curious to see like if they rope like Valentine's Day into this somehow.
No, I was just gonna say like Laura seems like the person that would be like Valentine's Day is a commercialized holiday. Why do we have, or she could just dive into the psyche of like why people like this holiday so much.
Yeah. Like she's so anti it. And Brendan is just like, oh, but Valentine's Day is just so nice. Like, don't you like to get spoiled or whatever? And she's like, no, I hate it.
Yeah. Like I could picture Brendan being the kind of person that would literally give like whoever he was dating like chocolate, flowers, and a giant teddy bear. Like all three. Yeah.
Oh my God. But then when Brendan like finds out that Laura doesn't like it, and so he's like, oh man, I gotta tell Atlas like to, call off the flowers or whatever.
Oh God, that'd be hilarious.
I would love that.
So
I would
funny.
love that so much. These
promo
he seems
photos more into it though. Like Atlas seems like from I guess it's been a couple weeks or whatever. Like when they were hooking up at the end of the episode, and he was like, "Oh, what if I want more than that?" And Laura's just like, "It's just sex, buddy. Like, hello." So I don't know. I don't know if we'll get like a mention of, like if it is like about Valentine's Day,
right?
They're gonna do anything like what?
I don't know. But yeah, I mean the promo photos don't give away too much of the episode, just that they're in a hospital or something. And then there's some behind the scenes pictures that were dropped too. So some fun ones. But nothing for The Rookie yet. They're usually like behind and coming out with stuff. So I'm sure that we'll get it either tonight at some point at 2 a.m. or tomorrow. Who knows? But
so but we'll be sure to post those. We'll be sure to post those photos later.
Yeah.
Too, obviously. But yeah, the next bullet point, obviously, Eric and Rosalind have a new episode of their podcast. He said Adiho, so be sure to check that out. I think Eric was like liking and retweeting a couple things because people had shared their thoughts on the sneak peek clip that they posted.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because he was in the trailer for work.
The dedication.
Yeah.
Just to like do that, like have the podcast, be on set, record that on top of everything else. So it's pretty cool.
I know I started listening to a little bit of it. And they had Rosalind's life coach on this week. So yeah. But in some heavier news, we do have some sad news to share. If you aren't on Twitter or haven't been on social media, Annie Wershing, who played Rosalind Dyer, has passed away from a battle with cancer. Our thoughts and condolences go out to her family, but she leaves behind 3 young boys, like very young boys. I mean, I think the youngest was like 4 or something.
Yeah.
And there is a GoFundMe to help take care of them. Their Rookie account has posted about it. Cast members have. So, and I think I saw somewhere, I think the Rookie said that they were dedicating the Valentine's Day episode to her.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, they had posted because she sadly passed Sunday, I believe. And then the Rookie posted Monday saying they were going to dedicate the February 14th episode to her. So
yeah,
that'll be good. Yeah, she was really young. She was only 45. So,
and I think I had read that she had cancer since like 2020.
Yeah.
So she had been fighting it for a while, and even like came back to play Rosalind and like finish out that character. And she, played a bunch of other different characters. So it was nice to hear too, and like read how she was with her family. And like, I don't know, I've only ever known her as Rosalind Dyer. So I was like, oh wow, that's like a stark contrast from Rosalind. So
yeah. I mean, I was familiar with her other roles. Like I know she was in Timeless, Vampire Diaries, Bosch, 24, lots of different things. But yeah, it was just shocking, like, because she was very private, which is understandable.
Right.
She chose to do that with her cancer diagnosis. But yeah, it was just wow. But yeah, she will be dearly, dearly missed by everyone and all of us in the Rookie fandom for sure.
Yeah, even the character the actor who played Armstrong like had commented, and
Harold,
all of the tributes rolling in were sad, but also like a little heartwarming to see. Just that even though she was like a guest star and a villain for kind of a short period of time, like she was still so loved on the set. So so kind of switching gears, we will talk about episodes 14, 514, and 114. And we'll start off with the Rookie, just because it's the first episode of the night. So we'll start off with Bailey and John and this gunman, ex-firefighter person. So Bailey, just like hears the phone. Here's John on the phone with his mom, and she's devastated that she's not invited to the wedding and everything. And Bailey's like, we only have 2 wedding guests, like it's a small wedding. Does she not understand that? And Nolan just explained that, like, he explained all that, but he's like, it still doesn't help, and it's still a knife to her heart. Which, like, I understand why he's not inviting her, but like also that's your mom, like, especially because his dad isn't around, like. Invite her.
Well, and then just I don't know, like I could, like when he and Selena were talking in the sneak peek that they had posted, I could kind of see both sides of like why not to, and then why to go ahead and invite her.
So then Bailey's like, I really don't mind inviting her, like if it'll make her happy. And John's like, it's not even about the wedding. She just wants me to pay her, to not come, $10,000 to be exact. And John's like, she's not coming. I won't let her ruin our wedding. Which, like, I don't know. This entire storyline, like, once we got to the end, it was like, it just, I don't know. It was a lot.
Yeah.
But then John and Selena are like driving, and she's like questioning how he can not have his mom at his wedding. And John's like, it's simple. Like, she's a narcissist and borderline con woman. And like, he tells Selena about what she did to Gray and Luna. And Selena's like, yeah, that's not good. But she's still your mom. And Selena's just like, I can't imagine like getting married without my mom being there. And she's like, of course, it'll have to be in her living room though, because she won't leave her house. I loved how we got like a callback to that too.
Yeah.
So then John like shares that Selena has a fundamentally good mom. So of course, like she can't imagine his situation. Selena's like, you're right. Like I shouldn't judge. And we, at this point, like we didn't know that there was an arrested civilian in the back of the shop. And he just like pipes up and he's just like, I'll judge. And he goes into all this. And it felt like a cold open to me. Like that part felt like a cold open just because we've had that before. And it was kind of comedic how, like we didn't know that there was an arrested civilian in the back. And then he just like all of a sudden is like, I'll judge. So later in the episode, Baylin's on the phone and John asks her how old she was when she did her first load of laundry, and she gives her answer, he gives his. And it's a good callback to Erin's storyline, which I felt was like, I don't know, the way that this call happened, it was like, okay, I feel like we missed a spot here. Like we went from A to C and we missed B.
Like a little bit. I could kind of understand. Yeah.
Because I mean, how does John know about it? Like I would assume that Lucy would have called him or told him in the district, but I don't know. We just didn't see it. So they hang up, and not before they confirm their lunch plans, and she's like, can't wait or whatever. And so then she hears gunshots and gets up to the front of the ambulance, and she finds out the driver who's been shot. And they're heading like right for a dumpster. So like she does get the rig to stop just in time. And ultimately like saves the day for the three passengers in the ambulance. But then John and Selena like roll up to the scene and meet with Bailey, and she's like, I'm fine, but my partner just went to surgery, and this is bad luck. Like I've had 2 partners out go into surgery or get hurt because of me. And I don't know. I just like Bailey mentions that she saw the red sedan speeding off and she wishes that she could be more helpful. And after she mentions the bad luck, Selena's like, I have a great Kundera who can like cleanse it right out. Like, just say the word and I can get you the information. And Gray comes up with a word from the hospital, and the partner and the patient that Bailey was tending to will both be okay. Like, and he asks if she thinks that they were shooting at the patient, and Bailey's like, possibly, but it could have just been a random drive-by. And she's like, I ultimately just don't know. But yeah, that was the case. That was the starting point for the entire like case, obviously. But side note, I just loved how like Lisette didn't have to like bend to go under the caution tape. Like the guy like lifted it up, and she was just like, I'll just walk right through.
Yeah, I was like, no, I'm good. I got
it. She's so tiny. Like they did that on her Chicago PD days, and I loved that. Because everyone else had to like bend down and go under. And she was just like, I'll just walk right under it. No big deal.
Yep.
So then as John and Selena like roll up to a car fire, that's their second call, he shares that the detectives got like a partial plate, and so like that doesn't really go anywhere. So they go to talk to the firefighter. There's no signs of arson for this fire, but the investigators will have to decide that. So the firefighter's like, do you have any real evidence and on this, shooting and everything? And John's like, yeah, I've got the best people working on it. Because this firefighter's men, like, they're getting kind of shaken up by it. And so then shots start firing at this next scene. The firefighter is shot, and John like looks back to see that the shooter is in a red Sentra, which is the car that they had found the plates on before. So Gray's like getting an earful from the fire captain about how they need to catch this guy and his men are in danger and all of that. And John just like walks into Gray's office thinking that he's probably going to talk about that. And after Gray like hangs up the phone, he tells John that he's gotten multiple calls from his mom. And, you know, his mom's asking why her son is dodging her calls. And like, she even called dispatch. And John's reaction is just very meme-like and very John Nolan-like. But, you know, John apologizes. Gray's like, I don't want to hear from her again. Like, you know, just take care of this. And so John like face palms as he leaves. And it's hilarious until you again get to the end and you're like, this doesn't make John look very good. Like, it doesn't at all. Because, okay, even if you are dodging her calls or you don't want her to come to the wedding, still like accept her calls. Like, she's calling this many times for a reason, whether it's to go to the wedding or not. Like, call her back.
Yeah. I mean, I think it is just like I don't know, like a way that, you know, like people that have parents like that'll kind of do that. And then they, you know, do that like in TV land to, I'm sure he's going to be, you know, like wrestling with these feelings, you know, surrounding everything. And then maybe that'll factor into his, you know, like his personal life will bleed into his work life or his relationship. I don't know.
Yeah, we have the promo for next week and they kind of touch on it. So yeah. But then, you know, Baylin's getting ready to have dinner and John receives a call from a doctor who's trying to verify her insurance. And John just, you know, he wants this doctor to tell his mom that it's not happening. And like John gives him advice. And, you know, John tells Bailey after he's like, this is just number 5 in her playbook, like pretends to be sick, gets him to give his credit card information to her accomplice. And so there's not really much more said about that. So we go into the next day. John's like spent all morning looking into their suspect, who turns out to be an ex-firefighter and got cut and didn't take it very well. Like, so he even started lashing out at other firefighters. And so John is like, yeah, we cross-referenced his plates with the vehicle that we saw and that he's a match. So John and Selena are waiting for this ex-firefighter to show up in the parking garage, and they've got backup with them. Like, they corner him. It kind of reminded me of the Spider-Man meme where like Spider-Man, there's like a dozen Spider-Men and they're like, what's going on here? Except that was not the case this time. Like, they all knew that who they were getting. So, you know, they've got backup with them. They see him open his trunk and it reveals a lot of guns. So they take him into custody, and then bomb squad also has to be called because he's got a grenade in his trunk. So there's, you know, like that's just kind of the end of that storyline. And then at the end of the episode, Bailyn is just like hanging out and Nolan gets a call that his mom has passed away. And so he's like, he's taken back by it and shocked because he obviously didn't think this was going to happen, but kind of just reveals that the doctor calling him was not fake, because when he heard the name Dr. Schnitzel, he was like, really? This is a lie. It indeed was not. So, but that's kind of where we leave off with Bailyn. I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll see next week. Like, or not next week, but next episode. I don't know. Like, it looks like his mom like lives out in the middle of the desert or something. So
yeah, well, and like seemed to have left him quite a mess to clean up. So we'll see.
So then we have Aaron, Lucy, and Tamara. I loved Aaron and Lucy writing together. Like, I just loved seeing their dynamic.
Yeah, it was funnier than I expected, because I really didn't quite know what, like, based on the episode description that we got, I wasn't really sure like how they were going to approach the topic of Aaron's, like, you know, lifestyle.
So Aaron and Lucy are going about their day. Lucy mentions that there's like a new lunch spot that's Chinese and Ukrainian fusion. And Aaron's like, if it's not cheap, then I'm not going. And Lucy's like, wait, but you're rich. Like, why not? And Aaron's just like, I'm not taking any more of my parents' money since his mom showed him a new prototype of an Aaron Thorson action figure. And Lucy's like, that sounds awesome. And Aaron's just like, yeah, but I've worked hard enough to have people take me seriously as a cop, and I'm not like gonna undermine it for a couple $1 million. And Lucy's like, a couple $1 million, like, heck, if you're not gonna do it, then I will. And right as she's like flexing her muscles or like her biceps or whatever, and she just says, Lucy Chen, fist of justice. And it reminded me of when she said something like that about Kojo, and she was like, Kojo, king of
king of canines.
Yeah, king of canines.
Yeah.
Tim just like walks up with a box of his things, and he's moving into his new office. And he's just like, what are you doing? Her high is adorable. And she's just like, she's obviously caught off guard. Right. But again, this would help if Aaron knew about them. Like, it would help so much if we did, because I don't know, I like couldn't decide if she was just like trying to not be all girlfriend like, or if she was like, I couldn't decide. I was like, why can't we just know?
I don't know.
Yeah. So then, like, her high is all adorable. She notices the splat of paint on his forehead, and she's like, oh, you got something there. Like, she wants to point and like touch him, but she's like, oh wait, no, I can't. And so then even Aaron like kind of mimics it too. And he just like brushes it off. He's like, whatever. And Aaron then mentions his new job title, and he's like, so Metro Police Liaison, like, it's the best of both worlds. And we see Tim's new office, and it's pretty small and old looking. But Lucy tells him, like, she kind of pops her head in the doorway, and she's like, well, at least it won't take you long to move in. And then she just like gets out of there because Tim also just shuts the door. Like, it was just funny to see them kind of like flirting at work, but then trying to still like kind of keep it a little bit under wraps. And as Tim like shuts the door, Aaron and Lucy like walk over to the window and like go to watch him. And Tim like looks back, and they just both give him a thumbs up. Like, Aaron's the double thumbs up, Lucy's just a one thumbs up. And I was like, wow, this is like, if you had a meme, a reaction, that would be that.
Yeah. Well, and then like the episode before, like last time, we had Tim do the thumbs up. So it was like, they flip-flopped.
Yeah. And he just like pulls the blinds down. Like, he's exasperated. He's like, I'm not doing this anymore. And so just the whole segment was hilarious. And like, I loved the three of them together. Even if it was for, 30 seconds to a minute or whatever. So Aaron and Lucy are obviously riding together for the day. Aaron's looking at apartments online, and he's like, everything's just too expensive for me. And he asks her how she lives on a comp salary. And she's like, we make pretty good money. Like, it's not that bad. And Aaron's just like, yeah, but my paycheck just disappears. And he's like, I have dry cleaning that's weekly for $500. And I'm like, okay, well, that's how it goes away. That's like $2,000 a month, dude. And so it turns out that he dry cleans everything, claiming that putting it in the washer ruins it, as he was told by my mom, or by his mom. And he's like, it's the most cost effective in the long run. No, it's not. Not if it's $2,000 a month. Like,
well, I mean, I just don't know if he like has ever seen money in a different way as other than having.
He never has.
Like an overabundance of it, I guess.
Yeah, he never has. Like, $500 to him is no big deal. Whereas like $500 to us is a huge deal. So, yeah. So he's just like, yeah, I dry clean everything. Like, washing it ruins it. Okay, well, even then, like, you've got enough money to where you could be going and buying new clothes, whole new wardrobe or whatever. Like, I think you would be fine either way. But Tamara then calls and says like things are weird at her babysitting job, and the kid that she babysits for woke up and like both of his parents were gone. And so Tamara's like, no one's answering their phone. Like, I'm just kind of worried. And Lucy and Aaron get to the house, go check things out. And Lucy asks her if she noticed any signs of forced entry. And Tamara just used her key to get in. Like, she even looked around for a little, and everything seemed normal. So Erin's like, well, how well do you know this family? And she's like, I've been working for them for 6 months, like saying the dad is a little aloof and works a lot, and the mom's more around, just running a nonprofit. And so the dad ends up coming in and looks up from his phone to see Lucy and Erin. And Tamara just like quickly explains herself. And he's just like, yeah, we had a family emergency. My wife had to fly home and deal with a family matter. And just as the dad's like apologizing to Tamara and says that like he should have told her, Lucy's like, so where is your wife? And he's just like, oh, it's just all a big misunderstanding. And Lucy's like, yeah, but where were you? Because Cosmo woke up alone. And the dad's like, well, I had to take my wife to Cincinnati or to the airport. Like she's got to go to Cincinnati. And he was like, I thought I would be back before Cosmo woke up. And so Erin's just like, yeah, well, we'll have to talk to the wife to verify that and like that she's okay. It's just protocol. And so we'll need the number that we can reach her at. And so the dad like doesn't have it. And he's just like, yeah, I'll get it to you when I find it. And so Tamara like offers to take Cosmo to school, but the dad's just like, he can just stay home. Like he's already missed half the day. And so as Erin and Lucy are walking out, she just says that she's not buying any of that and that they should loop in the detectives. And Lucy, like they continue on with their day. And Lucy just kind of like, she keeps going down his budget list and like his luxuries and everything. And she's like, so how much do you spend on food? And when asked, he just keeps like skirting the question. He's like, I do order in a lot, but I also like have takeout, so I can like find my receipts. And she's like, do you know how to cook? Like that's pretty cost effective too. And when asked, he's like, I know how to make the perfect martini. She's like, okay, like what? And so yeah, so I don't know. I did like seeing how it was very much different between them, right? Like Lucy has always kind of been on her own. She has to save, she has to like, be careful with her money, whereas Erin has never known that. And so to him, that's not a big deal. And I liked kind of seeing the differences between them and seeing like how she reacted versus how he reacted. So Angela meets with Erin and Lucy, and she's like telling them about the mom. She's like, she wasn't on any flight manifests, and her family in Ohio hasn't heard from her. So Angela wants to talk to Sonia's husband. And as Angela's interrogating the husband, Dion, she wants to know if he has any idea on why her car was parked in Hollywood with her phone and purse still inside. And he just keeps insisting that like he doesn't know where Sonia is, and that's the truth. But he says that he did lie to Lucy and Erin before. And he said that he had heard from the kidnapper that if he involved to the police, that the kidnapper would kill Sonia. And so it turns out that she never came home the night before. And like he was about to call the police when his phone rang and it was the kidnapper who said that he would have to pay $250,000 to see Sonia again. And the husband's like, sorry, I lied, but like I want to handle this myself. And Angela just tells him bluntly, she's like, that's no longer an option. And so she wants to know more about the man's voice. So like we don't hear any more about that. But Tamara and Cosmo are waiting in the station, and she tells them that like whenever he wants to talk, like she's there for him and he can call her. And she's just trying to like kind of keep his mind off of it. Side note, she has a permanent laminated visitor's badge. Like, did you notice that? He just had the sticker and she had like a badge with like a little clip on it.
Oh no, I didn't.
Because she goes there so much. I love it. And as I was watching it on the second rewatch, I mean, even the first one too, I was like, it would be really great if we saw Tamara become like a rookie or do something in the LAPD, just to kind of where like she would still be in with the group. I don't know. I feel like when she started school, they kind of talked about that. And that's why she was taking like criminal classes or psychology or something.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I know she was studying like sociology and psychology and criminology. I don't know, like, because the other people were saying too, and I like, not that I don't want her to, I guess just because she's like still young. Like, I feel like maybe when she actually finishes school, if we'll like see that. Like, I don't know. I'm just like, oh, this kid's in school. Like, let's just let her be in school right now. I don't know.
I mean, I don't think I would want to see her as like a rookie, you know? Like, I don't know. Maybe like as a child advocate or like a DCFS person or something to where like she has to come into the district a lot or the station. But I think that's just because I just want to keep Tamara on the show. So yeah, so then, you know, Tamara or Angela gives the rundown to Lucy and Tamara, claiming that Sonia was kidnapped for ransom, and you know, he doesn't want the cops involved. And so Angela's like, he already lied to us once. Like, I'm not taking anything at face value. And so she then asks Tamara if she thinks that he would hurt Sonia. And Tamara's like, no, I've heard them argue like maybe twice. And Tamara's like, do you think that he killed her? And Angela's like, I'm not ruling anything out at this point. And so Angela starts telling Lucy like what she needs, one of them being a warrant on his phone. And she's like, if he has to make a money drop, he shouldn't be doing it on his own. So we cut over to see Tamara and Lucy like eating dinner. And Tamara shares that she's been working another job to get first month, last month, and the security deposit for a place. And she's like, I can't live with you forever. Like, let's be honest. With Tim around, like, it's just kind of getting crowded. And she's like, you know, at some point, like, you'll want me out. Like, if you don't already want a place of your own. Which, like, no, she can't leave. They're such a little family. Like, she cannot go anywhere.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like, not that I don't want her to, but I feel like it's just like a natural, like progression or I kind of just, with Tim and Lucy being an item, you kind of wonder how that's gonna like balance itself out, I guess.
Yeah. So. Especially if they're spending so much time at Lucy's apartment, like it can make Tamara feel like it's crowded.
Yeah, Tim has a house.
I know.
Crying out loud,
his own house. It's not even like he shares it with anyone or like.
But then that's still
a smaller place.
You know, like if they were spending more time at Tim's house, it would be, oh well, then Lucy doesn't get to see Tamara as much, or you know. Yeah. So I guess it's still kind of.
I totally see where Tamara's coming from.
Issues, yeah.
But yeah, like it just, and then especially with like Tim coming home, it was just like such a little family moment, like little family scene. So Tim like comes home, he apologizes for being late, just like walks in, has the key to her apartment. Like the man's already like halfway moved in. I mean, let's be real here. And you know, he's asking like if they're ready for the movie, and Tamara's like, I'm just gonna go to bed. And they're just like, they're such a little family because Tim's like, are you sure? Like, you don't want to miss this movie or whatever. And I don't know. It was cute. I was like, I don't want Tamara to go, but like, I also can see it. But yeah, so then Tamara comes out the next morning, like asking for an update on Cosmo's mom. And she asks Lucy if like she thinks that it's about money. And then Tamara ends up getting a call from Cosmo. And she's got to go. So Lucy tells her that she'll be parked outside and to call her basically if she needs anything. So Aaron and Lucy are obviously outside of the house. And Lucy's like, sorry for getting us on this boring assignment or whatever. And Aaron's like, no problem. I can apartment hunt and you can watch out for Tamara. And he's looking for a cheaper place, but like his one requirement is that it has to have a pool. And Lucy sees one and she's like, here, like this is perfect or whatever. And he's like, no, this place is trash. Like, no, I'm not gonna live here. And it obviously just showed that like he needs the finer things in life to where she's like cool with like a little bit more of a funkier like place. So Tamara and Cosmo are in and playing video games or whatever, and she hears something and she's like, I'm gonna go check on your dad. And she ends up calling Lucy, and you know, she thinks that the dad is on the phone with the kidnappers, and Lucy's like, the detectives are on it, like don't do anything just to make sure that Cosmo's fine. And Tamara listens in on the phone call, like telling Lucy everything that, you know, she's hearing or whatever. And the dad just comes out of the office and like she confronts him. And turns out that he did all this for money. So he's going in. Angela then like interrogates him. She gets the name of the guy that he stole from, and he's going to be arrested for embezzling money. So he like wants to call the people who have his wife and tell him that he has the money or whatever. And Angela's like, you're gonna write us a full confession. So we then see Tim and the Metro team, along with Angela, Aaron, and Lucy, all like watching this go down. And Angela's the lookout. And so when asked by the guy from Metro, like why she's the lookout, Tim's like, well, there's no one I'd rather have watching my six than La Adelita, which I didn't catch that on the first watch, but the Rookie had released a video today of Alyssa like saying the nickname and like what it meant and everything. So if you haven't checked that out, go check it out because it's pretty cool. But yeah, so then the Metro guy just like apologizes quickly, and you know, he's like, oh, I didn't know that you were a legend at the range. She's like, it's all good, whatever. And so they're all going in. And like Metro has these cool little earpieces that like it's kind of like a headset, but not like all the way over the head or whatever. So Angela tells them to like go in, they're clear to go. And you know, so they're divided up into 3 teams, A, B, and C. So Aaron throws like some gravel to cause a distraction. The B team gets 2 in custody, thanks to Aaron. Tim takes down another guy for the A team, and C team takes down 2 guys. So, I mean, there's 5 guys down, and then the A team is back on the move, and they find the mom and like the main kidnapper. So Tim takes the shot, gets him right in the leg, and the mom is safe. So we're good there. And the dad is going to jail. So Cosmo's still taken care of. And everything's good there. So kind of towards the end of the episode, we see Lucy walk up to Aaron with an Excel spreadsheet. And she's like, I've got all of your expenses here. Like, you know, I've got this all figured out. And she's like, and your daily juices that you're having right now is not a part of that. And Aaron's just like, I'm taking my mom's money again. Like, I can't live in poverty. And she's just like, oh, okay. So all of her spreadsheet work like pretty much went to waste. But like also, Lucy, can you come here and help me manage some things? Help me map it out at least, you know? It's very Lucy Jennifer, I feel like. So
definitely.
Yeah. So then we go and see the end of it. Tamara is looking for another babysitting job, and her and Lucy like talk about her moving out, and Tamara's like, I just don't want to be a burden. And you know, like, what if you and Tim like start having your own kids one day? Like, you know, you'll want your own place and you won't want me around. And you know, it's decided that Tamara's not moving out anytime soon. But you know, maybe when Chenford does have kids or whatever, like she can be a babysitter. Like Lucy's like, I hear you're really great at your job or whatever. And so that's kind of where we leave off on Lucy and Tamara. I mean, Tamara's not going anywhere for a while, hopefully, but I hope that even if that does happen, that she still sticks around. So yeah, because we love seeing Dylan on the show. Yeah, so it's kind of it for like the Lucy, Aaron, Tamara of it all. But I did pull out like Tim's like new Metro stuff off to the side just because it was kind of its own storyline. So we'll kind of get into that next. Tim's like pouring his coffee, and he like goes to get something out of the cabinet, and like out falls the little booties from, what was it, last season? Yeah, last season when she had those in his locker.
Yeah.
And she comes out of the bedroom, and she's wondering if she missed it, and asks why he's up so early, and she just wanted to get a photo of his reaction. And he's like, I've got Metro training, like it's my first day at Metro, and I'm the newbie, like I have to haul in the gear and the ammo. And she just like gives him crap. She's like, yeah, the newbie. And then she calls him a boot. And Tim's like, I'm a sergeant though. And Lucy just disagrees. And she's like, you'll always be a boot in my book. And that was the cutest thing ever.
Yeah. The
way that she said boot and like called him boot, I was like, wow, total like 180 from what they had done, like, you know, him calling her boot before. I obviously cannot talk tonight. So yeah, so they're like just about to kiss when the apartment door opens, and it's Tamara. And it's like early morning. I mean, it's dark and everything, but like also turn on a light. Can you? Like, I would love to see them like, you know, with a little bit of lighting there, but I get it. Like they're definitely, it's like 4 a.m. or something. And so, you know, Tim's all awkward around Tamara, and his face when she says, yeah, Rager, it was good. He was just like, okay, like, I don't know what to do with this because what am I to you? Like, just your roommate's boyfriend? Like, I don't know. And so Tamara like wonders if she interrupted something, and Tim's like, nope, I gotta go. Bye. Like, you know, couldn't get out of there fast enough. So we see Tim at Metro training, and he's trying to like locate a shooter and stop the threat. And he ends up like getting shot, quote unquote, a few times with what looks like paintball pellets. Like it was definitely like paint. And so the Metro guys come out and drill it into him that like he's not on patrol anymore. He's a Metro, which means like they deal with major crimes, terrorism, hostages, barricades, all that. And they're like, and it's an elite unit, and like your form has to be perfect, which I understand why they were doing that with him, but like also it's not like it's his first day on the job. You know, like he's been on the job for a while and is in the military. So they're just kind of like hazing him at this point.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. So Lieutenant Pine, which we saw her in a few episodes ago with Angela, tells him that like these mistakes happen to everyone, and that Metro just takes some getting used to, and that he'll get it. And so we see Tim practicing again on the clearing, and like he does better. And the team comes out and they're like, yeah, now you have to get the company ink. And so they all like start to roll up their sleeves to show what they say is like a like ink. And Tim's like, we can't all get tattoos or whatever. And it turns out that it's a unicorn sticker, and they just like start putting them on Tim, and he just like, he's obviously getting hazed at this point. And so Lieutenant Pine is just like, yeah, they're just testing you. And Tim's like, you know, he just pulls out what he saw in the military, and he's just like, it's fine, like it's all just part of team building. And she's like, it's not about how many stripes are on your sleeve, but you know, you'll be fine with it. You'll be fine. And so she tells him that like if he's gonna lead the team, he needs to show them the Tim Bradford that was tapped to join Metro in the first place. And so then that's kind of where we like go from there to the stuff with Angela, Aaron, and Lucy. And so he's kind of like leading the team there. And so at the end of the episode, like we see Tim leaving for the day, and Lieutenant Pine just reminds him again that Metro is a different beast than Patrol. And, you know, she's like, all of these guys were in the same position before. Like they were, you know, just kind of starting off, finding their footing in the new unit. And so she's like, do you want to grab a beer with us or whatever? And he's like, do I have a choice? Like, it's always the newbies' first like day, and they have to pay for beers or whatever. So he ends up going for a beer with the team, which I kind of wish that we had seen that more. Like, I would like to see Tim kind of finding other people outside of like the core group to kind of like be friends with, and like maybe there's even some military people like in the Metro unit. That would be interesting.
Just would have been nice to actually see that scene.
Yeah. I saw a tweet, I think we had retweeted it, that it was like a picture of Nyla, Angela, and Tim, and it was like these three started out in Patrol as TOs, and like now they've moved on. So it's like, oh, look at them growing up.
Yep.
But yeah, that was kind of it for like the Tim stuff. It was nice to see Tim like start that position and like really get into it. But next we have the Wesley stuff, which like I just love that he got his own like storyline this episode, but it was nerve-wracking a little bit. Like towards the end too, I was like, I don't really know if I want what's coming up for him. So
well, just like Monica's so shady. Like,
yes,
she made me so nervous the entire episode. I was just like, what is she gonna do next? Or what can she do?
Yeah.
You know?
So I got the vibes. Like, when she watches him come out of Judge Revis's office.
Yeah.
After like she's talked to him or whatever, she's like in like a red coat or something. And I like she's kind of like in the dark or whatever. I got total A vibes from Pretty Little Liars.
That's funny. I mean, she definitely like I feel like she like has some power to wield that we just haven't seen yet.
Yeah, definitely.
Ugh, don't like it.
Well, and we know from the promo for 2 weeks from now, Elijah comes back and it looks like Lopez is happy. And I'm just like, don't hurt them. Please don't.
Yeah.
Because I really did not want that. But Wesley and Monica are in Judge Revis's chambers and they're like talking about Elijah and the case, and Monica's presenting a motion to exclude. And Wesley's just like, Mr. Parker is an eyewitness to the crime, like picking the shooter out of the lineup, and his testimony is essential to the case. And Monica's just like, the eyewitness testimony is flawed, like they usually always are. And the witness that Wesley has at one time had a gun pointed to him, so like he was also under stress. And Monica's arguing, obviously, that the high levels of stress like negatively impact memory. And Wesley counters that any eyewitness to a crime has experienced high levels of stress and like questions if they're throwing out the notion of witnesses. So they argue more. Judge Revis is inclined to side with Monica on this, and Wesley's not happy. Which, side note, Judge Revis is, if you watch 911 Lone Star, he is Carlos's dad in it. The TikTok account For the Love of Carlos had pointed that out, and I was like, that's right, that is his dad. Because the show only ever comes on mid-season, I'm kind of like, wait, I know these people and then I don't. So yeah, so Judge Revis is like inclined to side with Monica on this. Wesley's not happy, as he should be, and so the testimony is excluded. So Wesley and Nyla are like walking down the halls together. I loved seeing these two like on their own this episode.
Yeah, I know. I like tagged you in the tweet, and I was like, Jennifer is loving this, I'm sure.
Yes,
because two faves.
Like more of just them together, please. I mean, I love when Angela's there too, but like Wesley and Nyla, there's just something special about their friendship.
Yeah.
And so they're walking down the halls together. Nyla was supposed to testify and had baby Leah with her. And Nyla was like, well, it's actually a good thing, because if I had to testify, you would have had to have baby Leah, like take care of her. And Wesley's like, I could have done that, like no big deal. And so, he sends her home or whatever, and she's like, I'm exhausted or whatever, and Wesley's like, I've been there, I've done that, like go. And so Wesley's like, we're just gonna have to make the case without Parker's testimony. And Nyla's just like, yeah, if the jury will really follow that. But Wesley's like, well, no, but I'm gonna file a continuous motion. And so Nyla's phone rings. She asks if something similar happened with one of Angela's old cases. And it was a similar thing to like what Angela was going through that happened with the judge before Revis. And so Nyla knew that Angela was pissed, but she had Wesley's office, a perfect case, and it fell apart during the trial. And Wesley just tries to stand up for Revis by saying that they can be fickle and it can be hard to determine how they'll rule. And Nyla just brings up that Revis has been solid until recently. And, that's when cases started kind of looking a little suspicious. And so we find out that Wesley is clerked for Revis back when he was starting out. And so did Monica, which he was she had a sharp mind and everything, which, okay, if they both clerked for the same judge and they were engaged, that is a huge conflict of interest. I mean, probably not like that much of a conflict of interest, you know, because it's not like they're competing. Well, they kind of are when you're clerking. I only know that from Good Trouble.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know if that would be a conflict or not. I mean,
but even then, like, okay, if you're working at a job wherever it may be, you can't just like work with your fiance in the same department.
I mean, some companies have stricter rules, I think, than others when it comes to that. But it's definitely just the more I learn about Wesley and Monica, the more I just can't even believe that he was engaged to someone before Angela in the first place. So I just kind of take everything with a grain of salt when it comes to them.
Especially someone with her personality. Like, I don't know, Angela has a strong personality, but never one that like Wesley can't kind of counter. Like, it seems like anytime he's interacting with Monica, it's like Monica's got like the one up on him. Yeah. So Nyla just like mentions that, you know, Rivas is getting older. Like, you know, if he's starting to slip, someone should talk to him about retiring. And Nyla just like volunteers Wesley for the job. And so Wesley and Nyla are interrupted by baby Leah's crying. And Nyla's just like, I can't even stop moving the stroller for even a minute. Wesley's like, been there, you know, go, you know, take care of her, whatever. I'll deal with Rivas. So, you know, they've kind of split for the moment, and then we see them walking up to Gray, who's getting back to the station from meeting with John, Bailey, and Selena. And he's like, what is so important that you cannot wait for me to get back to my desk? Like, this dude was not having it this episode. Like, when is he ever having it, honestly?
Yeah.
But yeah, so Wesley and Nyla are just like, we think that Judge Rivas is, you know, getting bribed and by Monica, who is, you know, protecting Elisha. And so they think that she's bribing him to protect Elisha's guys. Like, and Wesley's like, well, I wouldn't put it past her to bribe a judge. Okay, I just need to know more about Wesley and Monica's past, honestly, because anything that we get, I'm just like, okay, we are learning a lot more. And how long were they together for? Did they ever mention that before?
Oh gosh, I don't know. That's been a few episodes ago now.
I know.
But
even then, I feel like they had to have been together for a while, whether they were dating or engaged then, for him to know this stuff. Like, I mean, if he doesn't think that she wouldn't be above bribing a judge, like, has she done it before? I mean, I don't know. Like, I just need to know more about Monica Stevens here. So Nyla's just like, I'll try and get a warrant for his financial records. And Grace just like, be careful because judges are close and, you know, you have to approach someone you trust. So Nyla's like, well, I know the judge that I'm going to like won't warn Rivas, but Wesley's like, yeah, but will she openly go against another judge? So Gray tells Wesley that if Rivas is guilty of this, it'll call all of his cases into questions, even the ones that he didn't throw. And he's just like, there's no telling how many criminals could go free. So Wesley and Nyla are like on the phone later, and he proposes going to talk to Rivas, and then Monica's just like leaving his office, and Wesley hangs up from Nyla and like they start talking, and he's just like, after they talk, he's like, something still just seems off. So he decides to still go into Rivas's office. Rivas is like, I'm gonna go, like, you just caught me. And he just tells Wesley tells Rivas that he knows he's throwing cases, and you know, Wesley's like, I don't have the evidence because Monica and Elisha are too smart for that, but you know, I know that it's happening. And so Wesley just wants Rivas to help put Elisha away for good. And he's like, you know, I know that, you know, you can help me with that. And Rivas is like, yeah, but Elisha goes after everyone who crosses him. And Wesley's just like, you shouldn't have a problem getting witness protection. Like, should not be a problem for you. And Wesley, you know, just reminds him that like he knows everything that he's going through, like the sleepless nights, wondering like what's going to happen. And so Wesley leaves Revis's office. We don't really know what ever happens with Revis and if he'll help Wesley. And that's where we see Monica watching Wesley. Like she just like kind of creeps out from the corner or whatever. So like that's not good. She's just, you know, watching him or whatever. And so the next day, Nyla and Wesley like go to Judge Revis's chambers and they find him dead. And it's not like there's not like blood splattered or anything. So it's kind of like, okay, well, then how did they kill him? I don't know. I would just think like a gun. Maybe they poisoned him or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say poison, or I know there's like ways to make something look like a heart attack.
Yeah.
Or a, you know, other cardiac ailment.
Yeah.
But
yeah, because even Nyla was like, well, you know, it could be his age. Like, we don't really know. And Wesley's like, no, Elijah did this to protect Monica. Like this, that's what happened. I just know it. So Wesley walks up to Monica at the end and he's like, you know, Elijah did that to protect you. And she's like, I don't believe you, like one bit. And he's like, I can't help but wonder if the girl that I knew and loved in law school was always this way. And he tells her at the end, he's like, Elijah will kill you two eventually. And she just keeps on walking. And I'm just like, yeah, this isn't looking too good right now. I have a feeling it's not. So
nope.
I'm like, well, that's fun. We've got 2 weeks to wait. And then cut to the promo, and Angela's just like, I'm just so happy. And I'm like, no, that's foreshadowing so many things. Even though the rookie doesn't do us like that, like they don't do us dirty like that, but like they do, because look at Jackson West.
Hey, that hurt.
Yeah.
That hurt.
I know. Especially because it's somewhat similar to the same thing. But I don't know. I don't want Lopez to be hurt. I want them to have 2 babies and just like live happily ever after, please.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's about it for the rookie. We did have some listener thoughts. Do you want to take us through the first one?
Yeah, sure. So Kim had said the rookie has been amazing. And it's been amazing to see how it's been developing this season. Tonight's episode is no different. An entire shipdom. Oh, like, okay, I get it. I just wasn't familiar with that word. Has built up, and their enthusiasm is as fun to watch as the show. Was stunned by that ending though. Yeah, the ending was just very like they dropped this bombshell and then fade to black.
Yeah, because it ended with John and Bailey.
Yeah.
It was just kind of a lot. But Chrissy has said, loved this episode, super excited to see what happens with Elijah and Lopez, protect them at all costs. They also said Jennifer needs to go to Tim's house for a bit, and I need the writers to give us a Tim and Tamara heart-to-heart at some point before the end of the season. Yeah, a heart-to-heart.
Yeah. Or just like, because I don't know if like either of them are particularly, you know, like ones to say their feelings like more. So I feel, but I mean, just something to kind of establish where they're both at.
Yeah.
With things would be nice.
I don't even know what the heart-to-heart would be. Like if she gets into trouble and like he's like, you know, I'll always be here to help or whatever. I don't know what the heart-to-heart would be, but I would like to see it.
I just thought of that meme. Like what? You said it exactly like I would like to see, like you just said it exactly like
I would like to see it, you know.
Oh my god.
I would like to see Lucy or Tamara, like Lucy kind of hear about it from Tamara or something after too. But yeah. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. We are at like episode 15 in 2 weeks, which is so crazy that they only have like 7 episodes left.
Yeah, I was gonna say definitely at the second half of these episodes now.
Mm-hmm.
Blessed Turtle had said Wesley finally got a decent sized arc in this episode, and I couldn't be happier. Every scene with him was so well done, and I was thoroughly entertained. They love seeing Tamara again. More Tamara is always a good thing in their book. They said, I'm also trying very hard not to spiral over what her sudden need for independence implies for Chenford. There's so much subtext there. Yeah. Nolan
But
really
she could also just be feeling like it's just crowded around there.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
But there is a lot that can be kind of unpacked there. So I feel like obviously I feel like it's gonna circle around or like come back. So
also I feel like if Tamara's such a good babysitter, we should see her babysit baby Jack or like Leah and Lila.
Yeah.
Like why not?
Yeah. Could definitely see that.
Yeah.
Blessed Turtle also said Nolan really flexed his investigative muscles finding that firefighter assassin, and it was quite impressive. Yeah, it was. I feel like he was like, I mean, obviously just because it was like Bailey, like extra motivated in a way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was. Yeah. They also said, I'm waiting to see how both he and Selena fare when Plain Clothes Day comes. That's going to be a sight to behold. I'm pretty surprised it hasn't happened yet.
Same.
I was going to say, because you had just mentioned that, I think last recording about Plain Clothes Day.
Well, I just wonder, like, if they're going to do a lot of the normal, like, rookie stuff with her. Because they haven't really yet. Besides her, like, commanding that scene. But I mean, I could see them not wanting to do it because they obviously did it with the first 3 rookies. And then, you know, they did it with Aaron too. So it's kind of like at this point it would just get repetitive. But one, because it's Lisette, I would just love to see it happen. So, and because I would like to see how John handles it being the TO. Because it wasn't that long ago that he went through it. I hope that they do a Plain Clothes Day.
Yeah.
She's been in, like, maybe not every episode, but a lot of them this season. I don't know. I just hope that, like, we get to keep Selena Juarez.
Yeah, that would be nice.
And definitely. That we get season 6, which we very well might, because there was another show that got picked up for season 3 today. So we're hopefully going to get pickups.
Yeah, the ratings have been really, really good. Like they had, I think, the TV Line article had said like their 3rd highest audience this season or something.
Like I would be shocked if we don't get a renewal.
Yeah.
But between now and May is when it could happen. So, I mean, who knows? We just have to sit on the edge of our seats for like 3 months. No big deal.
Yeah. And last but not least, Blessed Turtle said, finally, there's the Balin end scene. Not gonna lie, it hit very close to home. Yeah. It just poor John.
Yeah.
Poor John.
Especially with just like the way that he was the entire episode. I was like, oh, this isn't gonna end very good. I didn't see that ending coming.
No,
I was like, this is not gonna end well.
Yeah.
Okay, so his mom's not going to the wedding, like she wasn't anyway. I wonder is his brother Pete gonna show up to the wedding?
Oh my gosh.
They only have 2 guests. I need to know who these guests are.
That's fair. I kind of no, that is true. I kind of forgot about Pete. Not gonna lie. Just for a split second.
How can you forget about Pete Nolan?
I know, sorry. I know. But yeah, I need that to happen now. And if it doesn't, I'm gonna be like really sad.
I know. They need him to make an appearance this season.
Yeah.
Like we only have 7 episodes left. He has to like come in at some point. But my question is they only have 2 guests. So who's going?
Yeah.
Like, and why wouldn't he invite the entire like station or at least the people that he works closely with? I guess if they just want to keep it small, like you can't invite them and then not invite Bailey's coworkers, but I don't know. I'm just like, wait, so we're not making this like a big to-do or like a big spectacle?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it for the rookie. So it was good. It was a good episode. I liked how Wesley had like more of an arc this one.
Yeah, definitely. I know like people had some things to say on like Twitter and stuff, which is probably why we didn't get as many like listener thoughts.
Yeah, I'm surprised that we didn't, but I kind of logged off Twitter early last night, so
yeah. But yeah, it was definitely, there was a lot going on.
Yeah, there was. There was.
Yeah.
All right, should we move over to rookie feds now?
Your rookie feds, my goodness. They were kind of like similar themes in a way when it came to like, you know, the dad that Tamara babysat, like his kid, like the doing things for money or what happens when you have money. Like those kind of similar themes played out in the rookie feds as well. So I just kind of thought that was interesting. But so we'll start off with the billionaire's daughter storyline. Listen, the episode kicked off in like a really eerie way, and like it gave major to 11 vibes, which I don't know how to say this properly. Like I, from a like TV fan standpoint, I was like, no, I don't want to see that. Like,
yeah.
But then it was like cool and like it was really well done. You know, like you had like the bird's eye view and the, you know, close-up shots, and then the, you know, we got to actually like see who it was, even though we didn't know like a name or anything yet. But still, it was like you got an idea of what was going on just in that quick little snapshot, I guess. But yeah, so it opened kind of like to 11 in a similar way. And it's just, we see a girl trying to escape and successfully get out of the place that she's in, but not really know where to go because the land is so vast. So and it cuts over a little bit, at least for this storyline. We see that Amin is sending out I don't really know what he was doing because it looked like he was like on his phone.
Yeah.
So like I didn't know if it was like one of those it wasn't like an IG live, but like just one of those things, or if it was, because it was not like he was standing, you know, with a bunch of news cameras around him or something.
Right. Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah. But anyway, so we see this man like talking about his daughter's been taken and been missing for 48 hours. And he is going to put up a reward for her return of $10 million. And so we find out that that girl from the opening is Bree, and her dad is paper company CEO Pierce Langham. And so his video caught the attention of the FBI, and so they're obviously going to investigate it and see if they can't, you know, find Bree before anything else happens. And so the first person they're going to look at is Bree's boyfriend, Jameson Teague, who deals pills. So obviously they're going to want to talk to him like ASAP. And I liked, though, that, I mean, obviously I'll get to Candace in a little bit for Garza's arc in the episode, but it was just nice that we had, I don't even know how to say it, like times where Simone was able to interject her like feelings and thoughts about just the fact that the FBI could be seen as, you know, biased, or obviously their priorities are impacted because it's a, you know, white person who went missing, and if it were a non-white person, she doubts the bureau would act as fast. So yeah, I just thought it was like a nice way to integrate these things into like an episode. And so Simone and Carter like go to talk to I should say Simone, Carter, and Candace go to talk to Jameson, and then Brendan and Laura are going to see Pierce. And so they actually like his son, so Bree's brother Tate, like meets them and is like, well, if I could do this my way, but I can't because it's my dad's way or no way at all. But he doesn't know of anyone that would want to like personally harm his sister, but there are plenty of people who would want to hurt the company, so he gives them a list. Oh my god, this man though, can I just talk about Pierce for a second? He was so ridiculous. I mean, like,
yeah,
even more ridiculous, but just like the first time he met Brendan and Laura, he's like, what, the bureau couldn't even send a full agent? I was like, sir, you're so rude. Like, what the heck?
I was like, did you just call him like fun size or something? Like, what? No.
Yeah, I was like, what the heck? And I mean, I assume
no one talks to Brunson like that. Come on.
Like, I didn't even know like what the heck that even meant, because like I suppose, like, I thought at first, I was like, okay, is it just because like Britt's like short? But then I'm like, or does it mean that, but like, how would he know that Brendan's like a
like a rookie?
Yeah, like, so I just, oh my god, Kevin's face though, because he literally looked down at himself and then looked over to Britt. Oh my god, it's just the funniest thing. Oh my god. But yeah,
no one talks to Brunson like that, like plain and simple. Just
Heck
don't talk to them like that.
Yeah. But I mean, just like Laura being the queen that she is like not even phased. She's like, okay, and I'm going to keep talking now. So yeah. And so we like, it cuts back and forth between the two people they're talking to. And so it cuts over to like I said, Simone, Carter, and Candace pay Bree's boyfriend a visit, and he tells them that while they were at this dive bar that Bree likes to go to because she can feel like she's not the billionaire's daughter, like she can just be a regular person, that when they left there was a gray pickup truck following them. And then a little bit later, it like we cut back over to the 211-esque landscape, and the black SUV pulls up, and the kidnappers end up like, they catch up to Bree and like literally drag her back, like kicking and screaming, back to the car. So her escape attempt, while a valiant effort, did not get her where she wanted to go.
Yeah.
And so the bureau kind of tracks down, or comes up with the suspect of Chaz Fowler, because Jameson had dealt with him in dealing. And so they want to know if he's the one that, could be the one that followed them. And so when Brendan and Laura go to check out the dive bar to see the security footage, the woman like comes out and she's like, yeah, well, I don't have it. And they're like, what do you mean you don't have this footage from 2 days ago? And she was like, well, see, a woman came in and installed a new system, quote unquote, but really all that meant was she took the old footage with her, so they don't have anything. But they were able to track her with the, what was it, Cash App that she used to pay. And so this other woman is named Cleo, and she's a consultant for vigilantes, and she has been tracking Bree's movements, like social media, all kind, any kind of, financial activity, just anything and everything that she has access to, she's tracking. Of course, she's also been selling it.
Yeah, because why not? As one would do,
Oh, yeah.
I love how Brendan was like, he was the one that came up with and figured out like, oh yeah, we can track it from Cash App.
Yeah. He's so smart.
He is. We love Brendan Akers.
Yes.
Don't hurt him.
No. Like, never ever.
And don't talk bad about him, please.
Yeah.
Don't call him not like, a a fun size agent or whatever. No, he's a whole grown agent here.
Yeah. But like also random side note, like this is like the second time I want to say that like someone's like speaking to Brenson like through a doorway, and like they won't open the door all the way, so it literally is like they're standing this close to each other, and I'm like, they don't know personal space, but also they just really need to talk to their suspect. So
because the first one was when the guy was like, yeah, let me put on pants or whatever, and then he like bolts out the window.
So, but I did like how the camera literally like you could see it move from like Britt to then Kevin and then back to Britt, like when they were speaking. I don't know. I nerd out about those things. But anyway.
We love their height difference. 2, we love that they stand so close to each other. I mean, we are a Brenson stan account.
Yep. So good.
Yeah.
And so they do eventually find out that the gray truck is registered to Davis Yang, which, side note, loved seeing Elena in this episode too. Missed her. So,
yes.
So nice to see her with that info. And so apparently the address that they pull is like an isolated area in Santa Clarita, which AKA is the perfect place to hide someone. So we have Simone, Carter, Brendan, and Laura go check it out, but they unfortunately came up empty. This is like bizarre. Like, oh no, never mind, because they were looking at the truck, but like, why didn't they just know that like Randy was also the like homeowner too? Like, there were 2 people.
Yeah,
like on the like, I don't know, but anyway,
you would think being feds and like pulling up his information that they would have kind of like put the 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, well, it just didn't. I don't know. I was just like, wait, there's this other person now. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, the home belongs to Davis and Randy, and they're both bouncers at this club called Club 47, and
which is a very brilliant name for a club, I will say.
Yeah. So they're I'm gonna say original kidnappers, because things get really
they're the OGs.
Weird. Yeah, like it gets so weird. I like don't even, oh my god, I'm still wrapping my head around it, to be honest.
Sometimes the feds episodes are very convoluted, and I'm like, wait a minute, what is going on in this episode?
Yeah,
like there's just a lot going on.
Yeah. And so Laura remembers that they got info from Cleo, like all the info that she had, because if Brenson stares you down and are like, give this to us out of the goodness of your heart, you're gonna be like, okay, sure. So obviously Cleo had given them all the info that she had, and so they're kind of, because Garza like was talking to everyone and kind of saying how, okay, maybe they should kind of pivot their focus to look at Bree and do a deep dive into her life. And it turns out, though, that Bree's brother is a regular at Club 47. Not only that, but he's the one that paid Davis and Randy to kidnap his sister.
After this dude was like, yeah, let me know how I can help. We should have seen the red flag right there.
Like, that's the thing, though, is I really didn't. I just thought he was like this, stark contrast to his dad,
Yeah. Oh, that's what I thought
greedy,
too.
Power hungry person. And then we had this, Tate, who seemed to be all nice and everything, but my God, he literally did this because Bree was going to vote against him to take over the company because the board was wanting to replace Pierce as CEO. What? Like, what? So you have your sister kidnapped just so she can't have a vote? For crying out loud.
This is a new level of sibling rivalry.
Nuts. Because it's like, and then Brenson's like, okay, well, since Davis and Randy are dead, that makes you an accessory. And he's like, well, like, I just wanted to do this because I needed, this thing to work out for me. And I'm like, dude, this is not about you. Like, do you still not realize? Like, I just didn't feel like, just no wonder like Brie at the end was just like so exasperated with her family. It's like, she's still missing, and like literally I feel like they cared more about like their reasons for doing it than actually getting her back. It was just nuts to me. But anyway, so these vigilantes that kidnapped Brie, and well, they kidnapped Brie, subsequently murdering Davis and Randy, in order to do so, are probably still wanting to cash in on that $10 million reward. And Laura's telling Pierce this after she literally barged into his office. Like, boss move. Loved it.
She literally does not give an F. Like, she really does not.
No, and I thought it was so hilarious that like Brendan had like made himself comfortable on the couch, like to wait there like a polite person, and then he had to get up and like storm in after her. And I was like, they're so funny.
Laura's like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah, she did not have time for it. And then this is where it gets even more outrageous. I swear to God, I wanted to like smack this guy upside the head. He took back the reward money after speaking to one of the kidnappers, for crying out loud. Like,
you never take back the reward money. If they're like, oh yeah, we'll just like kill the person then. No, no. You don't take it back.
No. And so as he reveals this, Brendan and Laura kind of put it together. Oh, you only put up that money to get Brie back to attend the board meeting tomorrow to vote in your favor. Like, what?
They were using Brie. Like, they were. Let's get her kidnapped. Let's bring her back. Like, what? No.
Yeah, she was just like a pawn for them in this. No, if we're going with that metaphor, in this ridiculous chess game that they use, like, it's nuts to me. Like, oh my God. And so they like go. Well, Brenson's still kind of on the move. And they had pinned a location on the burner phone that called Pierce. So they're tracking it, and they find one of their suspects, I should say, in a parking garage. And this poor guy, well, I really shouldn't say poor guy, because he literally like took Brie just to get the money.
Yeah.
But Van is like bleeding by the car, and he's like, my son of a bitch ex-partner shot him, and still has Brie. And his ex-partner's Finn, and Finn was so dead set on getting that money one way or another. When Pierce wouldn't pay originally, Van wanted out, and so Finn's like, okay, you want out? Like, I literally probably was like, okay, I will take you out, and like shot him. And took Brie, and so he's on his way to see Pierce to get that money, like, no matter what it'll cost him. And this was just the absolutely like one of the most ridiculous things. The man kept his like regular meeting with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Even though his daughter is, has been kidnapped by the mercenaries who killed the original kidnappers. Like, dude, your priorities are so fucked up. Excuse my really language, but yeah, I was just like, what the heck? So I kind of didn't really feel bad that he got shot.
Yeah.
But still, because like parents are parents, like you kind of still want them to be okay.
Yeah.
But
this dude was just dirty all around. I mean, it's just come ridiculous. On.
And then like to have his driver be the one that like got hit and then like died, but no, he's gonna be expected to pull through. Like, Piers Langham's gonna be just fine. Like, what the heck? And then we got because Simone stayed with Brie. Brendan got Pierce, and then so Carter and Laura chased after Finn, and ended up shooting him And I don't know, like, I don't know if it was like intentional or something, but like the pause that like Carter had like after shooting him, like he seemed very, I don't know, like dejected or something. Like it just like took a lot out of him to like do that. But like I don't really know why. Because haven't we seen them like shoot people dead?
Yeah, we have.
Before? Like I don't know. Maybe that was just me reading too much into it. I don't know. But yeah, so basically like the whole, I guess, theme of this is just, that the public's consensus on billionaires are kind of split because obviously like some people really don't care and then others see them as people that don't deserve their wealth, or you got people like Finn who just want to take their wealth because he can. So it's just kind of crazy that like this whole thing just could have, I mean, like Simone had said, like in the press conference, like if they didn't like flaunt their wealth, all of this, wouldn't really have happened the way that it did. Candace being Candace, like hosted the press conference and singled out Simone. But like I said, like Simone took the opportunity to bring up that, lives were lost because these people have so much money but they don't really take into consideration like the human aspect of it. And so they don't really see people as people, obviously. I mean, they like used Pierce used his daughter and Tate used his sister to like get what they wanted. She was just like a means to an end for them. And then of course, we had Simone bring up like not only that, but just that she can be a little extra, but this is, it's an important time for them to acknowledge that, there are more people that, go missing. There are more people, that need their help. Like, and, she shouldn't be the one to get all the credit because she, it was a team effort and she was not the, most important person to do this job. And I just like how she reiterated though afterwards to Candace that she was like, yeah, I can be a little extra and like this was how I wanted to do things. Like she's not going to do things Candace's way, she's going to do things her way. And I don't know, like I just liked that Carter like stopped and like joked with her about how he was worried that one day he'd have to work for her if she got promoted before him. And I just felt like their like laughs were just like
genuine.
James. Like I don't know. Like I mean,
well, like, even just the way that they like interacted, it felt like it was very much like the actors. Like it was very much Niecy and James, very genuine.
So like, I just didn't know if like they kind of like wrote it like that or if they were just literally like, okay, let's kind of improv this and like just do something. Like I want to know these things. But anyway, it was good. And then I could spend like 5 minutes talking about the end part for Brenson, but I won't. I will mention it though. Because we had Laura talking to Bree on the phone about, what to do next, like how to, take this company and, run it while also, taking her father and brother's board seats while she's at it. So, more power to her. Like honestly,
girl boss telling a girl boss, giving her advice. Love to see it.
Yeah, so true. And then I don't know what the heck Brendan was doing on his phone, but he was doing something and then like asked, how, well, I don't know, because he was like texting or whatever, and then just like put it down to like
maybe he was texting his bro Mark Atlas. Like, hey, Laura's killing it. I don't know. I don't know, but we could talk about Brenson for 5 minutes. I mean, like, why not?
Well, because like obviously their whole exchange of, Laura knows a million, ways to get sweet revenge. And he's like, remind me not to get on your bad side. And she's like, As if you needed the reminder. And then they just look at each other and I just like melted into a pool of nothing. So I like can't. There are so many things.
Brenson literally exchanges one look and we're just like, we're goners. We're
like,
gone.
I don't even understand.
Yeah.
Like just I don't know, just like both the interactions, like the end for the I almost said TOs and rookies. That's not right. The special agents and the probationary officers, like they just probationary agents, sorry. Like they just seemed like I don't know, like they took liberties with it or something. Like I don't know, it just seemed very like casual and chill and fun, and I just loved that. So
yeah.
But yeah, like Jennifer said, they have one look in an elevator and we're done for.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that just sums us up at this point. Like we're literally 14 episodes into this new show and like already standing Brunson as friends, romantic partners, literally anything. We're Laura Stenson and Brendan Akers stan accounts now. It's fine.
Yep. And so we do have a little bit on Candace, Garza's ex-wife. And we like first meet her when she one-ups him during the shooting training. Like the woman just comes out and like puts the bullets in perfect little groups and then just takes off her, I don't even know what they are, like the thing, they're not headsets, but like the whatever the heck they put around their the tops of their heads, and it's just like, hi. I'm just like,
and she's all like cocky about it too. I'm like, okay, who are you?
Yeah, I was like, who? Yeah, because I remember when I saw the promo photos, I didn't really realize that like that was her, and I was just like, this woman means business, and obviously I was right, she does.
Yeah.
And Simone being Simone, she had absolutely no filter. When like she and Carter and Candace were driving a little bit later and was like, so are you ex-wife number 1, 2, or 3? And Carter's like, you'll have to forgive her. She doesn't really know what she's saying. And I mean, Candace went along with it for a little bit and was like, no, I'm ex-wife number, I'm number 1. And she and Matthew met in Tampa, I guess, when they were first starting out in training.
I love when Garza was introducing them all at the shooting range or whatever, and he's like, so this is, Stenson, Akers, Hope or whatever. And then Simone's like, and I'm Simone Clark. Like, I'm not going to let Garza introduce me.
Yeah. Yep. And she just, I mean, they all did good. I don't know. I liked the shooting range scene for like them, because we got to see Simone and Brendan like, team up and be badass. And
give me more of those outfits, please.
Yeah, that was so fun. Oh shoot, you know what I meant to do was like put a side by side of like the that one Instagram story that Kevin shared of like Britt took a selfie or whatever, and she was like in her polo and hat from the episode, and I forgot because we had shared it.
Why not?
We had shared it like earlier, but I just wanted to do a side by side because it's hilarious. Like her face is like the funniest thing ever.
We could still do it. Why not?
But anyway, but yeah, I liked team scenes like that. Although I don't know, I just should have seen it coming that like when Simone introduced herself, I was like, okay, she's gonna stand out, which is totally cool. But I just had a feeling that like Candace was gonna like latch onto that really quick.
Yeah.
And she did, kind of, because she was a little bit sneaky in her motives to try and kind of poach Simone from Garza's unit to be this new face of the FBI. And she kind of not subtly, but just like this smaller step would be for, Simone to speak at this fancy gala in DC next month. And when she was talking, well, Carter was so funny. He was like, I know you're gonna tell me, so just like tell me what you and Candace talked about. And she was
he wanted all the hot gossip.
Yeah. And, she checks a lot of boxes, being an LGBTQ, woman of color, of a certain age. And Carter was like, you're being groomed, right? Like, this speech is your audition for this platform that Candace has set up, even though it wouldn't be on Simone's terms. It would be on Candace's terms, and she'd essentially be like a puppet.
Yeah.
Or Candace to kind
of,
it
would help Simone a little bit, but it would still be all on Candace's terms.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so kind of the like storyline within this storyline is Simone's grappling with, okay, should I, go and speak at this gala? Should I, listen to what Candace is offering? And so we had a good conversation between Simone and Garza, because like he could have very easily told her what she wanted to hear.
Yeah.
But he didn't, and like he told her the truth that if she took the promotion, and this opportunity, like nothing would be her way, which is something Simone's always wanted, to have things like to make an impact on her terms, not by anyone else's. And so she does end up turning down the opportunity that Candace presented to her, which obviously, I mean, you can't have like this show without, and then have, Simone be in DC or, wherever Candace goes, like that wouldn't, work.
Yeah.
But still, it was nice to get like everyone's opinion, because I mean, like we even saw like when Cuddy came, which I have that as a separate little thing. When Cuddy stopped by the bureau, which was unexpected, like he noticed that, Simone was obviously dealing with this, and, she's worried that Candace is gonna, she didn't say demote her, but I mean, like, or, could like bounce her from the program possibly, because their, probationary period's almost up, but it's like, they're still not, they're not there yet. If she wouldn't have taken her up on the offer. But, Cuddy had said, well, you don't want to, it sounds like you could just be like a mascot, like they could be using you just to do, like what she wants. And so he just wanted her to think about that. But it was nice that, we got to see how proud he was of Simone and like what she was doing. Although he really did want to watch the game on the big screen TV. The man like did not.
He was so insistent on it.
It was so funny, because then it came back around at the end of the episode too. I was like, I can't. Like he was so hilarious. Yeah. And then she was like, no. School your face. That's a no.
Yeah. So I was just thinking, okay, how many episodes did they have before Feds got a full season pickup? Was it 9 or 14? And then they got like an extra 7.
I think they had just like the first like 9.
Because I was thinking like, okay, you know how they plan out like, half the season or whatever in advance? I was thinking, what if this was supposed to be like their final episode if they didn't get a pickup? And then it was going to be like Simone like goes back over to DC and like, is kind of the face of the FBI. Obviously they got the pickup, so like, nothing to worry about there, but
I didn't even think of that.
I don't know. I'm going to see right now if that was like, if it was episode 14 or 9, because for some reason those numbers stick out in my head. 9 would make sense because that was like mid-season finale.
Yeah. But I don't know though, because it was like after like the news came out or whatever, after episode like
October 21st is when they received to the full season order, bringing it up to 22 episodes.
Yeah. So that would have been like a month in, so it would have been on episode like 3 or 4.
Yeah. Which, I mean, they could have been filming, but I don't know. Let's see. Wait, here's the Variety article. It doesn't say like how many episodes they originally had planned. No. I don't know why 9 and 14 are sticking out to me, but
I mean,
they just are.
at least usually, at least from what I've like read or seen, it's, you do anywhere from like 8 to 10.
Yeah.
And then make it a full like, 20, 22.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it just says that they like have received full season orders for 22 episodes, but nothing as far as like, oh, well, they originally had 9 and then moved it up to 22. I mean, and not to say that this storyline couldn't have been put into episode 9, if the show hadn't gotten picked up for the full season. I don't know. It just kind of gave like season finale or series finale vibes where like, if they couldn't finish the show, like Simone could go off and kind of do something else. But obviously that doesn't have to happen. So
heck no.
Because they're killing it.
And
taking names.
Yep. Yeah. And I thought it was nice that we got to see, like, towards the end of the episode, like, we got to see Matt and Candace talk about things.
Yeah.
But just, like, while I understood or can understand anyway a little bit, just as a woman having to, work and, do similar things that men do, then, it's not on equal ground. Like, so I understand Candace's mission to kind of, claw her way up the ladder for this job. But I feel like she let it change her a little bit. Like, she was very demanding. She didn't lean on, Garza for support. And then, but he felt bad because he didn't really see how much it was affecting her, and he couldn't help if he didn't know there was a problem in the first place. So they kind of, but I mean, it was nice that they got to hash things out, and then kind of end on I don't even know what kind of note, because it's not like they're like, happy-go-lucky, like everything's, completely fine, but it's like they were at least able to kind of hash things out, but then also like reminisce on their past a little bit and like how, like, why they worked together. Like for the time that they did. So I thought that was nice.
I also loved how like she was trying to steal Elena from him and he was not having that.
Like, for crying out loud. Like, Elena was like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna give her some coffee, and then he's like, what the heck are you doing giving her coffee? Like, I was just like, dude, I understand you're kind of a little bit of paranoia, but I'm like, it's just coffee.
Well, and then she was even like, do I call you Auntie Candace still or no? And she's like, you can call me whatever you want. And then Garza was still just like pissed about that. It was like, don't piss off Matt Garza here.
Heck no. And so obviously, I just thought it was nice that we got to kind of hear from their perspectives just how it was coming up in the Bureau, and how, it was easier for Matt because people already treated him as equal to them or like on their level, whereas even though they worked together, people were still kind of looking more towards him, not at Candace as someone that was equally as important. So, which is unfortunate. And I kind of like when Simone was giving the like stats towards the beginning that like the men outnumber women in the Bureau like 4-1. I was like, holy moly. Like, that's nuts. Like, wow. So we had a nice scene with them, and that kind of, that really, I mean, that wrapped up didn't wrap up the episode, it wrapped up their storyline. We had ended with the Cuddy and Simone conversation, but since we don't have any listener thoughts for Feds, that wraps up the episode for them.
Pretty much.
Like I said, we could still talk about Brenton, but pretty sure where I mean, I can't say anything more about them really.
Yeah, I mean, other than they're pretty people,
Yeah.
and we just hope that if the next episode is Valentine's themed,
Oh yeah.
hopefully we get some kind of mentions of like Laura and Mark, and
Yeah.
hopefully Brendan and Antoinette are good.
Yeah. I also kind of want to know what the heck Simone's gonna do for Valentine's Day, though, if it does end up being a Valentine's Day thing.
Same. I mean, I feel like, well, we don't even really know if the rookie is going to be Valentine's themed.
That's true. That's true.
I will say that I liked how, and I'm sure that some of this was a little planned just because they have the same showrunner, same, kind of set of writers, or at least some of them are the same, that this episode of Feds and then the episode of the rookie were kind of intertwined in that, like, they both had storylines dealing with money and like, how different people view the money and all that.
Yeah.
So it was good to see. And I don't know, I just liked that. And then next week or next episode, we get a little rookie Feds kind of mini crossover in the rookie.
Yeah. Like, oh my God. Laura,
I feel like we should talk about those promos.
Scene. And then I would literally, I felt so bad that it took me like 2 seconds longer to realize, oh duh, Kevin's standing next to Britt, because where there's Laura, there's Brendan.
Yeah, but like you don't even really see his face, so
No.
I mean, it's valid, but yeah, it was like
99.9% sure it's him.
Yeah.
Like it has to be. So yeah. Yeah, but the promos are like really, like, I'm excited.
I know, same.
Like, I'm excited. I don't understand though why like Balin has to go to another place in the middle of nowhere. Like, I'm getting again more like 211 weird vibes, and I'm like, I don't know. Like, I just hope that they actually do get. Well, I know John's not really like one to like want to grieve like right away. At least it doesn't seem like that, because Bailey's kind of pushing, your mom just died, like this can wait, and he's like, no, I just want to get this over with. But I do hope they like revisit it. Now he, both of his parents are gone, so
well, and I feel like especially with the way that his mom was, like, he will probably try and push off like the grief process and everything, but I don't know. I have to watch the Feds promo again, but I'm like really excited for the rookie in 2 weeks, because I want to see how all of this Elijah stuff shakes out. I mean, I'm a little nervous for it, but I do want to see how it all shakes out. So
Feds was like good. They had a good promo, because it's I still don't really understand though how in the world someone could be ruled dead like 6 years earlier, and then it's like, oh, now they're actually dead. I'm like, excuse me. Like, what?
But it's also TV, so they can do whatever they want.
That's true. They can. And then obviously nothing can really happen to Simone. Like I said earlier, you can't have the show without Simone, but I just want to know how in the world I'm assuming like a crash happens or whatever, because it's like she was so good, at like the driving skills and everything. So I'm just like, did she go a little too fast, and they just caught a bad, bump in the road and just like spun out, or just like, I don't know.
And Carter like holding on for dear life.
Like, I just want to know.
This is hilarious.
Like, I want to know what happens. I need to know. But the promos were good. Like, I was all excited posting the thread the mini thread.
It's gonna be like a little mini hiatus, which is good. So I don't know. I feel like that wraps up for the night.
So you guys can find us on Twitter at the Shop Talk Pod _ or email us at shoptalktherookiepodcast@gmail.com with all of your thoughts. And obviously you can find us on Twitter as well. I'm at Carrie Hyman, and Jennifer.
I'm at JStarK04.
And we are also on TikTok at the Shop Talk Podcast _ And we're working on TeePublic stuff. Got plenty of ideas, things in the works. So, and I know Jennifer, you had said last week, like they're always having sales.
Yeah.
So just be sure. I mean, we'll probably post about, like an update with that, as well when we get more stuff done. But yeah, because I know like lots of people like want other things. Like we've had quite a few ideas like sent to us or like mentioned on Twitter. There's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot to do, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you like this episode and Shop Talk, leave us a rating and review. It really helps out the podcast and helps other fans find us. And like Jennifer said, we have a little week hiatus. So we will be back in 2 weeks with a new episode covering episodes 515 of The Rookie and 115 of Beds.
Yeah.
That's it. That wraps it up for this week. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Go get 'em, boo.